Yo, yo, yo. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is your boy Icy Penis. um this video is brought to you by the game that just dropped recently. It's called 1348. It was about some apprentice night. I didn't hear anything much about this game except for watching like it's something from a game show, but I thought, hey, why not make a video about it? So let's see what Eddie Eddiemon's TV says about it, and just see, give our own commentary about it.
It's crazy how I usually give games the benefit of the doubt until they can prove themselves or not, right? Like that feels fair at least.
Um, hmm. In my opinion, I do judge a book by its cover. Screw. If you recommend a game for me and I know nothing about the game, I'll play it out. There's a video that's gonna be coming out called Test Taker, which would be a perfect example. From there, other than that, if I know something about it and let's say Call of Duty, I'm not playing Call of Duty anymore. I'm I do have a Game Pass, so I might play zombies, but that's it. Other than that, I'm not touching Call of Duty multiplayer. I'm not touching the campaigns, which I used to do all the time because I'm like I had to play the campaign to understand what I'm working with. It started with Modern Warfare 2 and it ended with Black Ops 4. Or, yeah, I would say Black Ops 4. It's the last time I did play the campaign for Call of Duty. Because the story just came trash. Like, I love the fucking story for Ghost. Oh my god. But the game was so fucking bad. The alien shit was a nice refreshing from the normal zombies, but it was so short lived. It was pretty much Left for Dead in a sense for me. But all in all,
Seems like I really do need to stop doing that after this game though. Because everything surrounding 1348 Ex Voto, that's the latest modern audience slop simulator, has proven that these sorts of games, man, they need to stop happening, dude. In case you're actually sane and not terminally online like me, you're probably thinking, what even is this game? Well, my friends,
I was like that. I'm not gonna bullshit you because I had no idea this was even a game.
let us now delve into the world of medieval Italy and dissect the rotting corpse that has been spruced up by the games industry this time. So, in case you don't know, 1348 Ex Voto tells the story of Aieta, that's a female knight, which is already bogus, because female knights never existed, but that's okay.
That is true. People won't complain about patriarchy nowadays, but back in the day, there were no women's rights. So when you portray these older games, you can't just put in your ideas of what should or shouldn't be. That's kind of why, like, I kind of fall off with Game of Thrones. That female knight, yeah, she was an oddity, but she it made sense because of she was a actual house lady that went against the grain, like Arya Stark. Her father took him like, "Hey, we're a land of warriors. I can see it happen, plain and simple." But for some random nobody, no.
Because this is the exact kind of game that you think it's going to be. You see, Aieta is in love with her childhood friend Bianca, who looks like a doll that someone brought to life as like an asset flip on a forum somewhere. You see, the entire plot of Ex Voto is this, my god. So there's a plague that's ravaging the village in which Aieta and Bianca live. Eventually, one day, these bandits come to town and they raid the entire village and they
I'm not gonna lie. If he didn't say that was if that was a female, I wouldn't have known. Just from the fucking bow cut and the way that she wears her armor. But then again, the graphics of the game looks horrendous. I'm not saying that the graphics needs to be so detailed I can see everything. It just the movement alone is very off-putting for me that I don't even want to try this game out. Like, there's a game that's a video that I'm that's coming out called Kleinheim, and I enjoyed that game much more than what I'm seeing from here.
slaughter everybody. Bianca is then kidnapped for some reason, and then Ayeta vows to save her beloved and bring vengeance upon those who destroyed her home. It's at least a pretty simple and, effective setup, I guess. It leads to a lot of nonsense, however, because this game, in case you don't know, it's about 4 or 5 hours long at best, depending on how good you are at it, and the game is also painfully linear as well. So the vast majority of the enemies that you do fight in the game are unsurprisingly white, angry men, in case you haven't yet realized the angle of a game like this that it's going with. Yes, you're another strong woman, again, fighting fully grown, able-bodied men and ending them in Mortal Kombat because you're just so good, dude. It will never not come across as stupid and annoying, but this is the sort of game that feels like it was destined to get made in the era of game development that ravaged the industry from about 2020 to 2024.
Enough said. It's at the end of the day, when the time passed, and as I get older and shit like that, and history plays out what happened during this decade, especially with gaming and how politics and identity politics is just seep into the gaming industry for them to learn their lesson that people are not gonna pay for this stuff. You just realize we are fucking stupid. Like the kids whose parents were born in the 70s that were on acid, and all that shit. You know how the stereotypic people in the 70s were afros, like the 70s shows essentially. The people like that realize that they're fucked up. Their kids so bad that they end up making this shit. I feel sorry for them. Like they need help, but then again, the help that is available, like it's like um psychiatrists are so overwhelmed that there's so many fake ones to try to fill up the gap with like better help or something like that. I can't remember what they name of that scamming fucking program that I just saw so many ads for and I just refuse to even look at. But anyway, it's just like there's the accountability and reprimand for everyone being so soft right now is so crazy. Like we need to fix this shit because it's getting annoying. Like I'm tired of living through this shit. Everything's too fucked up that we need to fix what is going on at the end of the day.
But I guess this one just, took a bit longer to cook, I guess. But according to,
the I would say either the 50s, 60s, whenever the Great Depression was, while they had the Great Depression from, the economy, we have the Great Depression for the mental state of America. And that's our Great Depression, honestly. That's what we need to find something. This is a Great Depression 2 or some shit like that. Because it's ridiculous.
Pretty much everybody, Ex Voto should have maybe let this thing never out of the kitchen to begin with. Get it? Because it stars women? Yeah, that's going to offend somebody watching this. It's a joke, relax. But the real joke is this game's Metacritic score. Before I even show you that, just take a guess, right? Like, please.
If I have to take a guess, some female, banter about how, that's the female lead, lesbian, all that bullshit. Metacritic, I'm guessing it's an 87. I want to say a solid 87 minimum.
Just guess, what could it be? Again, it's a lesbian night game about fighting angry white men in 2026. The industry would eat this sort of thing right up, right? So like, what's the Metacritic? 75, 80, 85? Nope, as seen here, it's 53 out of 100.
Oh. I'm shocked. I thought they were trying to just force feed us some more slop. Now 53 is still high, but okay, we're learning.
Finger licking good.
You gotta be kidding me, dude. All of this virtue signaling, placing the pieces meticulously to cater to the modern audience, what these reviewers would want to love to see. And even the people you pander to, they can't bring themselves to score this thing anywhere close to reasonably competent at best. 53 is a horrendous score. It's bafflingly bad, but not really surprising either. This is the same game, by the way, that the gamer, as seen here, said will be this year's best medieval game because it is a lesbian knight's love story. The gamer then went further in that same article, this was before launch by the way, where they boldly claim why we need a lesbian knight game, as they say here. That's why I'd prefer to sidestep all the culture war drama. In a world where some games feel desperate to pander to the loudest audiences, it's refreshing to see a game execute its own vision and its desires. Wow, these people are not self-aware at all, are they? Okay, but anyway, so remember all of this I just showed you, right? Okay. Executing its own...
That looked like the main character was about to fall off the mountain just from being stuck in on the sliding motion. If I had fallen off for that, I would honestly refund the game immediately. If I just for some reason bought the game. Now, first off, I will not buy this game to begin with. It does not even look good. Once again,
own vision, right? It's the game we need, all of this and whatever, right? Surely the gamer would review this game favorably then, right? Well, here's their official review, and they gave Ex Voto a 5 out of 10.
Finger licking good special.
And wow, dude, look at those negatives too. The narrative is underbaked and doesn't commit to any specific theme. Oh boy. Combat is repetitive, it lacks depth and has difficulty spikes. Uh-oh. Platforming and exploration are simple and...
it looks like they just got the basic fighting, because I looked at some of the development fucking assets, and there's this one that I think is called like Act. It looks like they just use Act to the bare minimum. Honestly, I think that's why I've been finding like less fun with most games nowadays, because I literally did some research on certain shit, so ignorance is bliss, right? So let's read these pros and cons. Pros: where the main character and Bianca are excellent lead characters begging for more depth. How's that a pro? That's a con. If they're lacking depth, then it's a con. So that's not a pro. Gorgeous visuals across countryside, mountains, and castles. So they know how to utilize building assets, but it can't make character assets because the main character looks like a fucking dude. So I thought it was a dude the entire time until the beginning of this video. Cool. Combat is occasionally thrilling. Is a pro. Combat is occasionally thrilling. Wow, when everything comes together, that's not a pro. So there's only one pro, and it has nothing to do. It barely anything to do with the game, the whole sequence of the game. So war building trash, story's trash, combat's trash. Well, who's this for? Con number 3. The narrative is underbaked and doesn't commit to any specific thing. Okay. Combat is repetitive, lacking depth, and prone to difficulty spikes. Okay. Platforming and exploration are overly simplistic and predictable. Okay. A major third act twist simply doesn't land. So for, a game that's 4 to 5 hours, probably because so many cinematics that you can't just walk away from. So it just reminded me of Genshin all over again. So why would I want to watch Cinematic Simulator? I'm here to play a game, not watch cinematics every fucking 5 minutes. I bet you if there was no cinematics, the game would be done in 2 hours tops. Just if the exploration is over simplistic, and the combat is really easy for any Dark Souls person to play. They're just beat him like simply. Like, come on.
predictable, and a major third act twist simply doesn't land. Oh boy, okay, so yeah, it looks like they did not like this game very much at all, and they found it to be a very frustrating and disappointing experience that fumbled all of its potential right out of the gate. Mind you, the team that made Ex Voto is apparently a smaller team that is compiled of experienced game developers who have worked in the industry before, but based on any of the reviews you can find, you would think that this was their first time making a video game. And look, I get it, right? Making games is hard. I'm not here to say that otherwise, but with what was riding on this game, you would think that they would have landed this because the potential could have been what this kind of industry would need to shoot themselves up into the stratosphere with games like this. But what's crazy to me from all the reviews I saw, which ranged from bad to its average, is that there's no way the people who developed this, the studio's named Sedlio, by the way, or their publisher, that's Dear Villagers, which by the way is also a publisher that promotes games that hates people based on their political party choice, by the way, too. A reminder, in case you forgot, that Dear Villagers also published a game called Caravan Sandwich, which, as seen here, celebrated when Charlie Kirk was shot. As also seen here, they said they have no pride for fascists, or here as well, where they say that someone says to Caravan Sandwich that they are advocating for the death of free speech, and they just say it plainly there that yeah, they agree. And mind you that to this day, Caravan Sandwich is still being promoted and sold while being attached to Dear Villagers as a publisher, because they are very clearly a publisher that hates anyone who doesn't agree with them politically, and that's just the case if Caravan Sandwich is still a part of them. And again, this is the same publisher who published Ex Voto, another game that pushes a sort of thing they want to see more of in the industry too. All birds of the same feather, if you will. It's kind of revolting, but it's also confusing because how did they not focus test this game at all and realize that, oh wow, not only is our game buggy, but basic things like platforming and more can actually soft lock the game at times too. I get having to release your products during quarters to, hit your targets. Maybe that's why the game was forced to commit to a March 2026 release date. But either way, it has become objectively clear that this game was not even remotely ready for release based on those reviews alone. They should have delayed it despite quarterly earnings, because if they fixed the game up and made it better, at least I guess it might have hit somewhere in the 70s on Metacritic, maybe, and garnered more of an audience than it already has. Look, I'm not saying this game was going to sell millions of copies, right? Of course not. But I mean, something was better than like what they got here instead. Because also a reminder that is seen here posted on Ex Voto's Twitter account, they proudly shared how they had over 250,000 wish lists for the game prior to its launch. That's a lot of wish lists for a game of this size. Surely those people would show up day one to support.
Based off the numbers before we look into it, I want to guess if it got a Metacritic of 5.3, people wish listed, and let's not even take account of refunds yet. I want to say 12,000. This is a single player game, so 12,000 all time.
Their game that was everything they hoped for, right? Well, here's a Steam chart. As you can see, they managed to.
I know you guys can't see my actual face, but I'm I'm rolling. What? I was being generous with the 12,000. I was actually thinking like 7,000. I was like 250,000. Like, I know. I was like 7,000 was a good number for 53 credit, but not even 500. What? Come on. Come on. You can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up.
Hit a max concurrent player count of 427 people.
That's what I'm talking about. All five need to become.
With that number already dipping to less than half just a day later. My guess is the majority of the people who played this abomination were probably streamers or reviewers, since most normal people likely did not show up to buy the lesbian night game like they hoped. And look, like I said in my previous videos on Ex Voto also, I gave this game the benefit of the doubt, alright? Because remember, it all started when Ex Voto made fun of Knight's Path. Remember that other game by Polish developers, which is all about knights, sword fights, and combat and all that stuff? And Knight's Path's developers famously claimed that they would not put modern agenda stuff in their game when a user asked if the game would have gay romance options, and then the entire Access media and the user started attacking the game, calling it bigoted and more. And then Ex Voto's developers, as seen here, they said, don't forget to wish list and note the release date on your modern agenda. That was obviously a big stab at Knight's Path to dunk on them, and look at that, dude, 18,000 likes when that first post got posted. And when you look at those player numbers and the wish list, it keeps telling you exactly what I have been saying for years now. These people who support you on social media via the likes and whatnot for your modern audience slop game.
This is why you shouldn't pander to any. I mean, this is why when you make a game, this is coming from a gamer. At the end of the day, I don't care if your game's in early access or beta, whatever whatever goes on. Let's take Towerborn for example. I played Towerborn. I played the beta. I had my fun with it. I didn't play it till a recent release. I like what they added. I enjoy the game for what it is. Am I mad that it's not cross-platforms because my friends on PlayStation? Yes. You had the whole reset. You had it, so I can't play with my best friend. I kind of just not. I'm not playing the game anymore. I don't feel like I'm too. I won't say I'm too old. I'm old enough where I'm set on what friends I have, and I don't need to find new ones. Essentially, with games like these or games like coming out nowadays. Let's take Resident Evil Requiem for example. It's a complete game. I hope it is because I paid $70 to give it to a friend. It's a full complete game with a great experience that a lot of people love. Okay, not my cup of tea, but my friend's loving it. She's been playing it a lot of time, but she's been streaming it too, and that's what I want, a complete game. I'm like, yes, the game can have bugs and jankiness and all that bullshit. That's fine. It's a game at the end of the day. But if you're expecting high premium costs, I suspect minimum bugs. I shouldn't be expecting half-baked games every fucking year calling you out Call of Duty. Fuck Call of Duty. I should be expecting whatever I'm dealing with to be playable within the first minute of the game. I'm not asking for a 3-hour fucking cutscene because I'm just gonna walk away. So you make it a cutscene so I can't refund it? Nah, nigga, nah. You're done. I'm not even. I'm just going. I watch some big streamer play it or some small, or even some small streamers if I'm in the mood to like just roll and recommend in the recommendations. But I'm not playing a game where I'm stuck in so many cutscenes that I'm just watching a movie at that point. I should go watch a movie. I get on Netflix. I'll go outside. Like I could do so many more things than spend my time doing that same thing I did at Genshin, which is literally this is how I dealt with Genshin essentially. Okay. I watched the video. I played my game. Was going through story. Had a decent time, with the combat, shit like that. When it came to the cutscene, had that shit on autoplay. Watch the video in the background. I'm not playing the game. I'm not looking at the game. I tab the fuck out like Netflix is trying to reiterate for any movie or show that comes out nowadays. Like, oh, make sure you reiterate what the plot is 3 or 5 fucking times. I do that. I do that because of Genshin. Because I don't want to be stuck in simulators or that's a simulator. I don't want to be stuck in cinematics because I can't skip it because I don't give a fuck at that moment. Now, let's take Final Fantasy 14 for example. Final Fantasy 14, you go to your journal, you can rewatch any cinematic you want to watch from any quest you completed. I do that when I feel like it. I love that. But at that moment, I'm so in my little high, essentially, the adrenaline, that small adrenaline pumping of me doing my mechanics, my rotations, and all the shit. Like, why you killing my fucking mood with me being stuck in the story? It's like a cinematic for like 20, 30 minutes. That's absurd. No, get the fuck out of here.
They never show up when you actually need them to. Like, what do you mean your Twitter post has more likes than people who actually bought your game day one, yet all these users who ran damage control for the 1348 game would call you a chud or something if you said that Knight's Path looked cooler to you? This is what I keep saying. Dear game studios, publishers, whoever, stop making your games for the modern audience. How many times do I have to say this? They don't exist, they don't show up, and they will never support you financially because most of them are jobless with no money anyways. You are catering to a crowd that can never actually support you the way you want to, so why even bother? Is it really worth spending millions of dollars in years of development time?
Yo, whoever's playing this game sucks so much balls. Like, block. Like, just block. Like, what? And you can't block in the game, which, from just that alone, is absurd. Block. Do something. You're getting pointlessly hit every 2 seconds. Get the fuck out of here.
Making these experiences for people who can't even shell out the $30 to buy your lesbian night game in the first place. But this is what I mean, right? Ex Voto shot themselves in the foot by declaring Knight's Path the lesser game. Well, they sealed their fate. They told the normal, ordinary consumer base, hey, this game isn't for you. And yeah, they did not show up. Wow, color me surprised. And now look where it's gotten them. A barely existent player base, horrific reviews that no one would want attached to their games, and they are now the laughingstock of the internet as well. You know how bad you have to be for the gamer to score you poorly? Those people will eat up anything that is targeted towards them, even if it's slop. So this is a level of bad we haven't seen for quite a minute. And look, I'm not saying that, gay games, whatever, are bad, but if you're gonna make a gay game, make it great at least. I mean, this is just not it. And again, dear villagers will probably think, sure, we lost money. Yeah, we lost credibility, but did we at least own the chuds? And like usual, no, you didn't. You made more slop, just meant for the grinder again. But what if I told you all of this gets worse? Because now I'm gonna talk about the ending of the game if you don't mind. So if you don't want it spoiled, I guess stop watching. But like, let's be honest, it's so dumb. Let me explain. This is ridiculous, dude. Let me set the stage for how this all goes down, okay? Remember how the gamer said that third act twist made no sense? Yeah, they weren't kidding. So anyways, the whole game, you're running around this linear medieval Italy fighting white men looking for your lover Bianca. Because remember, they stole her while they burned down your village. Oh, those evil white men. But what if I told you it was all a ruse and it was orchestrated from the start to happen the way that it was? Here's where things get even more stupid. So Aida obviously is a highborn woman. That's why she's a knight, right? And then you have Bianca, that's her lover. She's lowborn. She was destined to be a maid or like something like that for the rest of her life. Anyway, Bianca always wanted status and power, but knew that she would never have it because again of her birth and all of that. So Bianca was destined to become something that she didn't want to become. So, and I swear I'm not kidding here, I'm being totally serious. Like, okay, look, just so nobody thinks I'm lying or something else, like here's the big twist as to who is in command of these soldiers and all of this chaos. So, my God, please watch this clip from the game. Watch this.
Honestly, hot take, she looks better with that kind of outlook than the fucking bow cut.
I hoped you would come.
Why? Why all of this?
You ask why? Do you not see? Standing there a night at last, as you always wished. My dear, sweet Aida.
I shall not be swayed by your honeyed words. I have come to end this.
But we have just begun. The old world is ending. The wars, the pestilence. This is our time, our only chance to build a new world from the ashes. One where we are no longer bound by birthright.
So, essentially, from what I can gather, your lover, best friend, oh, your your lover and fellow knight that you're training because you have a sword, whatever, from the tutorials or that, betrayed you to a very deep level. Even women can't please other women. Why are we catering to this type of shit? Like, what?
Where we can finally decide our own fate. We can be free. Both of us. Together.
At what cost?
At any cost. To build this, all of this, there is no other way.
Your men are killing innocents. It is not your blood being spent.
So that's why you've come. To make me pay the price.
I have come, so no more innocents will suffer.
Yeah, so it turns out that Bianca is the main villain of the game all along. Oh, but why do it, right? Why? Why cause all of this chaos? You're probably wondering that. Well, here's the reasoning, so watch this clip as well.
Give up this foolish struggle! Even now, I would forgive your betrayals. Of the others. Of me. Of us. Did it mean so little?
I was overlooked. Underestimated. Even by you. I was never a fool. While you dreamt of tales of Arthur and Lancelot, while your father indulged your swordplay, I had to claw my way up. Out of the mud.
I could. We could do it together.
Not in this world. I have carved my own path. And I shall not give it up. Even for you.
Yeah, so Bianca was the one who allied herself with the bandits and whatnot that ravaged Aieda's village. All because she didn't want to live as a peasant anymore and instead wanted power and money and status. So to her, it was a necessary evil, in her own words, to effectively allow dozens.
Honestly, now don't look at me crazy. Hot take. That's the best writing I heard from these sort of people in a while. Honestly. Now, it had me somewhat intrigued, but that was the last fight. So, or somewhere the third act, whatever it is. So, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they explore that shit a little bit more, but like I said, hot take. Don't hit me with the pitchforks. It essentially is just essentially it wasn't bad writing. They showed the very depth and emotions of, hey, I did what I can for love in one sense, and like you got so focused on your goals that you forgot about the people around you, and she felt ignored. I understand that, and I could see how it could lead to this. My main question would be like, how did she get to this point where and all that, and how did she do it? Like, but I'll see this more of as a show or slash movie than a video game. I like I said, I'd rather watch like a movie or video game of a movie or a show about this, like a short show, like 6 episodes max about this shit, than actually play a game about it. Because then I'm just, what's the point?
of innocent people, likely women and children, mind you, just get completely slaughtered or worse by these bandit groups as payment to these bandits to let her live and be whisked away with them. Then somehow Bianca becomes the leader of these bandits, which is just ridiculous. Because if a low-born peasant woman was never able to succeed in her life, why would a group of heavily armed bandits, ranging in the dozens of groups, allow...
And that's why I want to know how did she became the leader, honestly. Like, so that's why I can see it as a good show. Like, this is not a bad hot take. Once again, hot take. This is not a bad idea. Okay? I wouldn't mind a show where this was plausible. Like fanfic type shit. I'm not against it, bro. At the end of the day, is what it is. But once again, not a game. Not as a video game, because it's just bad. The visuals is extremely terrible. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. It was just no. But as a show or a movie, like keep it quick, one and done. Of like how this shit is, like with a little flashbacks, like how she was able to like portray herself in a way to get to the bandits and blah blah blah. Like I wouldn't mind that. But hey, it is what it is.
Allow this like random young woman in like a backwater village to lead them. I guess it really doesn't matter because either way, Bianca is now the leader of them because the plot demands it. Anyways, Ayeta obviously is disgusted by what she's seeing and is even able to forgive Bianca for again allowing the slaughter of children just so that she could live in power and luxury. And then because of all of this, Bianca realizing that Ayeta would not listen or allow her to live in her weird LARPing role-playing dream where she's a bandit leader, which let's be real, even if Ayeta allowed Bianca to live, eventually if Bianca's group became like too bloodthirsty anyways, like the Kingdom of Italy or whatever else would eventually send their own knights and military power and completely crush Bianca anyways. Because what does a low-born random peasant girl who knows nothing about combat gonna do against like an actual military might that knows how to fight, strategize, and has resources? We both know either way that Bianca would get cut down and slaughtered, right? Which makes the entire situation surrounding this game feel effectively pointless. But again, the plot needs to happen. So she basically just allows children and innocent people to just get slaughtered and no-scoped because she wanted to play bandit leader for a little bit is what she did. Ayeta, obviously, ended up cutting down the majority of Bianca's group anyways, which again proves my point. Because how would a group of bandits led by a random small woman be any sort of threat if one single female knight, who's like 90 pounds at best, be able to systematically slaughter every single one of them with only a sword, mind you? Like, this is the worst bandit group I've ever seen. Like, you got annihilated by a 5'2", 90-pound woman. You should have known this bandit life wasn't for you, but whatever. Anyways, hilariously though, as others have pointed out, this ending of a lesbian knight romance story ends with two lesbians fighting each other, which is, I mean, come on, what are we doing, guys? Like, in case you don't know, right, and this is real, look it up, lesbians as a group have the highest domestic violence rate out of any other group when it comes to that statistic. I'm not even being a bigot, that is real. Like, again, go look that up. Like, lesbians are out here just fighting each other like they're Tekken characters on a random Tuesday. Anyways, the fact that said Leo and Dear Villagers decided to enforce that stereotype to such a degree that your final boss fight is another lesbian is just like comical levels of what are we doing? I'm amazed that they thought that this would come off as profound. Like, this just tells me that nobody involved with this game is a real person, because it took me all of 5 seconds to look at this setup and start bursting out laughing at how stupid it all was. Anyways, how does Ex Voto end, you may be asking? Well, here, watch this clip.
It was a steep price. The town was my dowry. To buy into this new life. Opening the gates. Leading them inside. It was a necessary evil.
Honestly, gang violence is pretty much something in the same nature where you have to either you first get punched in and then to show your loyalty you have to kill a person. Like, that's why we put each other down so often that we need more people to bring people up, because we're just creating a cycle of hatred and violence all around. I understand especially as men, we need it to be able to protect the people who we love, but when that's all people know is violence. That's why our prison system is, you have so many prisons and shit like that. It's not a good job opportunity for people. Because then you have the forbidden fruit and all the other jazz. It's like this, that, the other. There's nothing wrong with wanting a better life. There's nothing wrong with having dreams. But if you don't work for it in a correct, not correct, in a way that you bring value to everyone around the world and not just, whoever you're trying to pander to, you're making a mistake. This is the type of content I want to drive. It's like, make sure y'all know how to be better with your wallet, because I know I'm not. I'm just not. But hey, I want to be that person to say, hey, y'all don't need to do it. I'll do it for you. And if you like it, go buy it. Don't just take my word for it. Look at the gameplay. See if you like the gameplay. See if you like the story. If you just like the story, you go watch the video and boom, you didn't have to spend money for it. If you like the gameplay, boom, you go buy it. If you already seen the story, so hopefully you can skip it. But if you can't skip it, at the end of the day, we need to make smart choices as a group, collective group of human beings. Because sooner or later, we're going to be put into a situation where we're going to have to make that decision, and it might be too late.
But I made certain you were spared. That you were far from harm that day.
You planned everything. Betrayed everyone.
It was fine for you. You who have only ever seen what you wanted, heard what you wanted from inside your gilded cage.
It's a gilded cage, but it's a cage that you're trying to hop into. Next.
No such fortune. As a low-born woman, as a peasant, I was treated like chattel.
Yeah, you don't matter. Plain and simple. I don't matter.
There can be no change without sacrifice.
That is true, though.
Without suffering.
That's true.
Power can only come from strength. Look at you. With this freedom we've claimed, your own path has led you to become a knight.
That is not strength. It is cruelty.
It's conviction. But the clash of wills, as you will see.
I hear your pain. But how can any of this be fair and just, founded on the blood of innocents? Bianca, there must be another way. Leave all of this. Just come with me.
Straight from one of your tales. You are naive, Aeta. Most of us aren't born into power.
Honestly, base. You appreciate something you know when it's gone, but hey, at the end of the day, pretty base. Like I said, I would definitely watch this if it was an actual good movie or a decent movie. I wouldn't even say good. A decent movie or even a TV series, like a short TV series. Like I said, 6 episodes max. If they can get decent writing. But as a game, once again, no.
I won't let you take it from me.
All those months ago. In this madness. No matter how far we have fallen, we still remain. But at what cost to us?
What choice did I have? I had nothing. Would sacrifice everything.
This world has been unfair and cruel to you. I fear the price of all this for you and me is too high.
Very well. Oh, my noble Ayeta. Would thou aid this damsel to rise?
Finger licking good.
That's right. In the end, Bianca didn't regret her decisions, and she was willing to let as many people die as possible if it meant she got to live in luxury. So naturally, Ayeta ends Bianca, and the lesbian romance story ends in a fight where Ayeta mortally wounds Bianca and ends her. And that's how 1348 Ex Voto ends. Good lord, dude, this is a real video game. Look, I'll give Sedlia one thing, right? The voice acting is great. Like, both actors, like the main characters, I mean, they do a great job with what they're given here. It's just that the animations, the production, the lighting, basically everything else that is meant to sell this story is just laughably bad. This could have been a cool game. It could have been something people could have actually celebrated, but time and time again, these things are being undermined by the absolute state of Western game design, like all of the time, dude. Like, what are we doing? These characters, man, they look more like ragdolls that are given life through like a wish than actual breathing characters. Their mouths, they move weird. Their eyes, they look lifeless too, even in that final fight scene that you just watched. Just the way that the lighting is done, you can't even see what's going on, dude. I even turned up my brightness while watching it, and even then, like, it just doesn't look great. But hey, that's what the game was. They thought this was fine. So they made it, they slapped it together, and they sent it off to the reviewers and the players, so it is what it is for the rest of time. The cherry on top of this turd pie, however, is how I knew this comment that the 1348 Ex Voto devs made would come back to bite them one day. So I made sure to bookmark it and screenshot it over a month ago because I just know it would be funny, and you should screenshot it too because, man, you can use it as a gotcha as much as you want. It's awesome. But anyway, this is where like a user asked like the developers why the characters in the game are ugly, and the devs responded with, and no, I'm not kidding, why do you expect a woman to necessarily be attractive?
That's what I'm talking about.
Just delicious, dude. The prime steak of a gotcha comment, served up piping hot and fresh with a side of french fries and gravy and a nice assortment of garden vegetables. Thank you, said Leo and dear villagers. Thank you for this game. Thank you for proving that yet again the modern audience doesn't exist, and that toxic positivity and virtue signaling will always result in the worst games ever conceived, no matter the genre, the budget, or the message. 1348 Ex Voto is the greatest example of what not to do in 2026 or any year before or after it. Absolutely horrendous, and all I can do is smile and laugh at this all. Like, what a waste, what a mess. My god, is it pathetic to see. But that was the game that was meant to be the chosen one, so what do you think? Did you play it? God, I hope not, but if you did, let me know. Subscribe if you like to. Apologies for the cringe from the game, but I think we all came out the other end wiser. Thanks for watching, see you guys next time, and don't forget to check this game off of your modern agenda.
Alright, good video by Edamon. As you can see, it's on his other videos. I just personally, like I said, once again, I take movie or 6 series TV show. Other than that, I'm good. I'm not playing a game like this. I have better other games I could do at that time. But I think Netflix will definitely enjoy something of this nature if they could get the funding for it. But after this game, I don't think they ever will. But if I will leave Edamon's fucking video in there, so you make sure you like the original video. If you want to see more of this content, make sure you like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think my hot take is wrong? Right? Who knows? Like I said, I'm different on what could interest me essentially. So I'm cool with what I got. All right, see y'all next video. Peace.